right. So here's my friend EJ. I'm gonna be peer teaching him about how to play a violin. Okay. All right. So I guess let's start out with posture. Basically, let's just start out with the violin first.
Okay.
So basically, whenever you're standing, you're gonna be putting your left foot in the 10 o'clock position, and then your right foot will be going back a little further, not like too far back.
Okay.
But your feet will be about shoulder width apart, and your right foot will be slightly behind your left foot.
Okay.
And for the violin itself, you'll start out this. I think they call this the Statue of Liberty position or whatever. You start out holding it straight out.
Okay.
And then you will kind of twist your wrist and bring the violin to your shoulder right here. So, yeah, that looks good.
I feel so awkward.
Kind of don't really twist your torso a whole lot.
Okay.
Make sure your torso is in line with your feet. Whenever you bring your I'm trying to think. The horn in the other room is distracting me. I'll be editing this out.
It's okay.
But,
It's okay.
I can't even think right now. So you'll stand with your sternum up and back straight. You don't want to be hunched over.
Okay.
Stand up with your straight sternum up like this, and basically you want the scroll of the instrument, which is this little curly thing.
Okay.
The scroll needs to be pointing straight out, and it needs to be parallel to the ground. You don't really need to be holding it down like this or up too high. And that's about the playing position you want to be in. So you don't really want to be holding it out like straight to the side either. You want to kind of point it at an angle in front of you, not directly in front of you either. Just kind of like a 45-degree angle is what that would be.
Okay.
So yeah, that's how you hold a violin whenever you're standing. And basically sitting is pretty much the same thing. You just gotta stand. You sit on the edge of your seat with your feet flat on the floor, and your sternum uplifted like this, and pretty much the same angle.
Okay.
That your skull should be pointed in. All right, so I guess let's I should probably go over the yeah, that's a good skill. You want to be able to hold like whenever you're standing, players should be able to hold their instrument without their hands.
Okay.
They should be able to comfortably hold their violin in between their shoulder, onto their shoulders with their chins like this, without any kind of discomfort or anything like that.
It all feels uncomfortable.
Yeah,
It feels so uncomfortable.
yeah. Oh my gosh! Whenever I was starting out, it was like, what? I don't even know how to process this. Yeah, but so I guess let's move on to the bow hold.
Oh. Okay.
Mhm. So basically, here, let me get a pencil. I guess what you could start out with, starting out with kids who are learning to play the violin. Basically, a good technique to use is the pencil technique.
Okay.
So basically, pretend this is your bow. So you put it across your your first knuckles here, I guess. You'd put it right on these knuckles right here.
Got it.
And so you would hold your hand out like this, and put your the pencil like that, and you would then take your thumb and put it toward the middle in between your these two fingers, and then kind of you take your ring finger and put it right there.
Okay, wait, what?
It's kind of confusing. I don't know exactly. Okay, well, you know what? Let's just do it on the bow itself, because
Okay.
that's easier for me.
Okay.
Okay, so this part of the bow is called the winding. I don't know.
Okay.
And then this part right here, this little part with the circle in it,
Right.
that's called the frog. So basically, what you're gonna and then there's a space between the winding and the frog right here.
Okay.
So you're gonna put your thumb right there, and your ring finger will go on the circle on the frog. Your thumb will be right there in that space. Your pointer finger will be on the winding, and then your middle finger will be just kind of wherever it wherever it feels comfortable.
Okay.
It could be up on here. I'd probably put it like right behind the thumb, and then your pinky will be on top of this the stick right here.
So thumb is right here?
Yeah.
Okay. Then this finger, little circle.
Yeah.
The index goes
On the winding,
here. Okay.
and then your middle finger will be right here, where your thumb is, but on the stick.
Okay.
And then your pinky will be on the stick right here. Like, so it's not gonna go over or under, but it'll be on top. There you go. And you want to be able to hold your bow like this comfortably without your fingers being tight or too tense.
Golly.
Yeah. it's kind of
Ouch.
it's kind
Ow.
of crazy. Yeah. I've gotten a couple weeks to get used to it, but it's weird starting out. Yeah.
Yeah. Golly.
Yeah.
Like I don't understand how you can play for long periods of time and
It's I my arm gets tired whenever I'm playing
Am I-
just
am
in
I-
class.
am I
Yeah.
holding it right or?
Yeah, it looks
Is that-
right. Kind of. You want your fingers to be not tense.
Not
so
tense.
yeah, so you want to be able to kind of. This is weird, but you want to be able to like spider crawl up the stick like this. So if you were to move all your fingers, it's kind of weird, but you know, you want to be able to spider crawl your fingers up and down the stick without touching the
Okay.
bow hair, because that's
Oh, shoot.
a no-no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm supposed to. Okay.
Well, down here it's not really that big of a deal, but
Okay.
once you get up, toward the middle, it's not. You don't want to touch the bow hair with your fingers, because
Oh.
your fingers have oil on them,
Okay.
and it'll mess up the bow hair and it'll make it sound weird on the strings.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let me see. It's 8 minutes. Okay, so yeah, that's how you hold a bow. And I have a little like rubber band thing on here
Oh.
that I got last class period.
Okay.
And basically what that is there for is it kind of helps you keep your ring finger in place while you're playing.
Okay.
So that way you don't kind of like move your fingers around too much while you're playing, and it gets all out of alignment and everything like that.
Alright.
But yeah. Okay, so let's do some plucking, I guess, on the violin.
Plucking.
Plucking, pizzicato. Pizzicato.
You lost me. You lost me.
We're not gonna use the bow on the strings just yet. But let's tune, actually. Let's do that
Tune.
first, because I forgot to do that before the video started. But yeah, so basically how you tune your violin. We're in the practice rooms here. I don't trust the pianos, so we're just gonna tune off of my violin that I tuned yesterday during my class period. Just hope that's right. It might not be, but I don't trust the pianos in this practice room. Okay, so basically you've got 4 strings on a violin.
Okay.
in order from lowest to highest, it's G, D, A, and E. And violinists start out, I think strings in general start out tuning with the A string.
Okay.
So that's your A string.
This one.
Yes. Yours sounds a little sharp. So what you're gonna do is you'll follow the string up here, and this one is the top peg up here for me, and you'll I think to lower it, I think you'll pull it towards you. Not don't like wrench it towards you or anything, but just kind of adjust it, and you can pluck while you're tuning it, and you should be able to kind of hear. It sounds flat now.
Did I go too far?
Maybe a little bit. It sounds flat. Kind of push it. Don't be afraid to like I said, you don't need to like wrench it forward, but don't be afraid to, you know, screw and unscrew it. That sounds closer. Alright, and now these things down here are called fine tuners. So basically, you're going to take the one on the A string and kind of play around with it until it sounds... Wait. Do it again.
I can't tell.
It sounds pretty close. We're gonna say that's okay for now. It probably won't be, and some violinists who are watching are probably cringing, but we're gonna say that's pretty close, and go on to the next strings for that.
Okay.
Alright, so next is the D string. So we started out tuning with the A string, but now we're gonna go to the D string. Yeah, that's very sharp. So you'll go again. You'll follow the string up, and it'll be this top string, this top peg up here.
Okay.
And you can adjust it.
So, it's which way to pull it?
Do it again. That sounds sharp, so you'll be pushing it back. And make sure. Oh yeah, that's way too sharp now. Oh yeah, I had that wrong. You'll be pulling it toward you. Okay. Here. Pluck it. Sounds closer. That's pretty close, actually. We're just gonna say that's okay.
Okay.
Right. All right, and let's go to the G string. Make sure your fingers aren't touching the strings up here. Yeah, it's kind of. That sounds sharp, so you'll be pulling the peg toward you. Here, pluck it. Oh, it's flat, so you'll be pushing it. That's this bottom peg up here.
Oh, is that too high?
Yeah, that's too high. That sounds close. You'll probably use the fine tuner down here on the bottom. Trying to figure out which way I'll pull it.
I'm trying to match it, but
No, it's you're doing good. That sounds okay. We're just gonna, like I said before, I'm not a professional, so we're just gonna assume that that's okay and move on to the next one. All right, so next is the E string. I've always had trouble tuning the E, so this might not be very good at all, but
I can't even tell. Oh my gosh.
yours is too sharp.
Okay.
So you'll be it's the bottom peg on this side, so you'll be pulling it toward you. Oh, that's way bad. But go back the other way. Here. That's closer. Yeah, I'd probably use the fine tuners and turn it clockwise. That's I think that's probably about as close as we're gonna get it. So we're just gonna move on. Let me see how long. Okay, we've got like 16 minutes. So I guess let's learn a D scale.
A what?
A D scale.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
Okay, we can start out with just an open D. So so an open string is whenever you're not touching, not pressing down with any of your fingers. So go ahead and put it in playing position. We won't even touch the bow for the rest of this lesson probably. But so make sure your feet are correctly positioned, and then you're standing up straight with your sternum lifted. And to pluck the strings, you're going to take your finger and you're going to put it on the fingerboard right here, which is this long black thing. So I take my my thumb and put it right here. That way you can easily reach all the strings and everything without accidentally touching any of the rest of them with the rest of your fingers. And so for that'll be your right hand on this on this. So for your left hand, you want to make sure that you aren't holding the fingerboard like this. You want to make sure that your wrist right here is like you want your hand to, you want your arm right here to be pretty much straight. Okay. So your wrist is not going to be all twisted up on the back of the violin right here. Yeah. So basically, what you can do is you can make like a just make I don't know what to call this gesture, I guess, but basically it's like you're pretending like there's a mirror. Okay. So you're gonna put your put the bow in this little crook, and you're looking in the mirror. So you want to make sure that your mirror can't be like this, because then you can't see yourself. Right. So you want to be able to see yourself in the mirror. And then you'll take your fingers and spread them out like this, and you'll do whatever positions. For the D's, well, let's just do the open strings for now. But basically, like I said earlier, your open strings are whenever you're not touching anything with your left hand. So, you start out with your open A, D, G, and E. Those are your open strings. So, yeah, if you want to make noise or whatever, that's fine. Also, you don't ever want to pluck on these strings between your bridge and your fingerboard, because the rosin that you put on your bow will get all over the strings, and it messes. It's just not very good sound whenever you use your finger down there. Anyway, so you always want to pluck on the fingerboard or over the fingerboard. So let's look at this over here. I guess let's bring it over here so you can see and they can hear us. Well, so we're just gonna pluck the open D string in this little book. Can you see it okay?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so pizzicato is where you're just plucking. That's the word, the term for it. So we're just gonna count. So this little bit right here is in 4/4 time. So that means there are 4 quarter notes in each measure. So it'd be like counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And these little squigglies right here are rests. So that's whenever you don't play anything. So basically, this little number 2 right here is like 1, 2, 3, rest, don't play anything. 1, 2, 3, rest. And then it just keeps going like that. And so let's try that. Okay? So we're gonna pluck the open D string.
Okay.
So get up in playing position, sternum lifted and everything. Your feet are right. Okay, so let's pluck the open D string. So let's start out with I'll count to 4 and then we'll start, okay? So 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, let's
Sorry.
No, you're fine. It's good. You're fine. So we're just let's do it a little slower, okay? So okay, let's just do this over and over again.
Okay.
So I think let's try number 2 right here. So we'll pluck the first 3 notes and then we'll rest, and then we'll pluck the next. We'll just.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Rest.
Oh shoot.
It's good. You want to do it again, or do you want to?
Yeah, let's try it again.
All right.
Okay, I forgot about those.
That's all good.
The rests.
All right. All right. One more time. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Rest. 1, 2, 3. Rest. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Rest. Good job.
Right,
you got through that one.
That was better that time.
Yeah, it was a lot better. Okay. Well, let's do the open A string real quick, and then we'll probably end this lesson because it's a good time to stop. So let's do the open A real quick, and then we'll stop. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Rest. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Rest. Good job.
Right.
All right. So I noticed I looked over and your wrist was like super bent like this.
Okay.
So yeah, you just want to make sure that your wrist isn't all squished up like that. But yeah, you did really good. That was cool. All right, I'm gonna end this.
Okay.
All right. Thank you for watching.